Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is me, your English instructor, and you are watching Learn English with Professor. Today I have brought a very amazing topic for you people, that is present simple tense. First of all, we all know that what is tense. So tense is a form of verb that is used to show a time of an action. So we have all 12 tenses, but in this video you will be learning simple present tense. So what is simple present tense? Simple present tense to show the time of an action which happen on a regular basis. So in which situation we can use simple present tense? So we can use by this situation, I wrote it. The first one is a permanent base. Like for example, we live in Peshawar city. So it's a permanent place. We live in Peshawar city, so we can use simple present tense. Another example is he works at the bank. So he, like someone have a permanent job and like he work on it. Like for example, if somebody have a bank worker, so he have a permanent job from government side, so he can use simple present tense. If anybody ask him what do you do, so he will be give answer that he works at the bank. So now the another one is a daily routine. What is your daily routine? Take example by your own. Like for example, I wake up at 6 a.m. I wake up at 6 a.m. And another uses as schedules. What is schedules? First we know that what is schedules. Schedules mean a timetable. Everyone have own timetable in our life. Like our class is start at 9 a.m. Our class is start at 9 a.m. So it is a timetable. Timetable we can say that schedules. And another one is frequency. Frequency, what is frequency? Like if somebody 100% sure, so he can use always. Always means 100%. She always takes the bus. She always takes the bus. So it is a frequency. So it's all simple present tense. I will. So how to use simple present tense in a making sentence? So first of all, we have three strategies. The first one is positive, negative, and interrogative. Interrogative means questions. So how we use this sentence in a right way? So I give you example that I work, you work, we work, they work, and there is he, she, it. So when we are talking, when we make a sentence in a singular person, so we use s with it, s-e-n-e-s. Like he works at the bank, she works at the bank, and it we leave it. And the negative sentence, how we use negative sentence in a simple present tense. So I give you example that I don't work at the bank. I do not work at the bank. So the best way we use this is a correct way. If anybody use in a negative sentence, I don't say that. I do not. It's not a good. I don't work at the bank, so it is a good way and is right in the sentence. And there is when we talking about the single person, he, she, it, we use does not do. Like for example, she does not work at the bank, he does not work at the bank. So does not is not a good, so we use a short form of it, this one. She doesn't work at the bank, he doesn't work at the bank. And the last one is a questions, how we make a sentence and a question. if you want to ask by someone, so how we use it, like he work at the bank, so we can ask by him, do you work at the bank? Do you work at the bank? Do we work at the bank? Do they work at the bank? And with the single person, he, she, it, we use does. Does he work at the bank? Does she work at the bank? But in a question mark, you have to use this nishan, this in the last sentence. So it's all about for simple present tense, like how we ask by someone. I gave you just a two example for you, that like you ask by someone like which place he live, you want to know that, like how you will be asked. So you will be asked that where do you live, where do you live. And you ask by someone by a job, like you want to know that what he do. So how you will be asked by him, what is your job. So we ask by him, what do you do, what is your job mean. Like you are asked by him, what do you do, it's mean that what is your job. So he will be give you answer, I do work at the bank, like I do work as a teacher, whatever his job. So to it's all about today I'm gonna teach you present tense. The one is simple present and the one is present continuous tense. At the previous video I was teaching present simple present tense. If you didn't watch, so visit my profile and watch it. It will help you in the present continuous tense if you watch at that video. So what is the difference between in these two tenses? I would say that I work at the simple present tense, and the present continuous, I am working. I would say that I'm working, you are working, we are working. Simple present continuous tense we use for a temporary, for a short time, and for those action which happening right now we use for that action. So in which situation we can use present continuous tense? So I'm gonna to explain you. We use for a temporary time, for a short time. Temporary mean for a short time. For example, we are staying at a hotel. No one can stay at the hotel for a whole life. Everyone stay for a dinner, lunch and breakfast for a small time, minimum 1 hour and 1.5 hour. So we are staying at a hotel we use for a temporary, for a short time. The second one is trend. What's the mean by trend? Trend mean change is something developed, something developed. So the prices of home are increasing, the prices of home are increasing. And the third one is now for a present time, like the baby is sleeping, the baby is sleeping. And the last one is we also use for a future, like she is flying it, she is flying to UK in next week, she is flying to UK in next week. How we can use present continuous tense with a sentence with a structure. So what is the structure of present continuous tense? The structure is subject plus to be plus verb first form and ing. So and what is the sentence of we have three kinds of sentence: the positive, negative and interrogative. Interrogative means question sentence. So how we use it? Positive, I positive sentence we can use like I am teaching. You can also use whatever you want, like I'm teaching, I'm working, I'm sleeping, I'm studying, whatever you do and you want to make sentence. The second one is negative. The negative sentence we just add not in the sentence at the same sentence. Like for example, I am not teaching, I am not teaching, so just I add not. I'm not teaching, I'm not sleeping, whatever. And the last one is the interrogative sentence, mean question sentence. For example, am I teaching, am I sleeping, am I working, am I studying, whatever you want to make sentence. So it is a whole structure is simple past tense. What is simple past tense? Those action which is already done in the past. सिंपल पास्ट हमारे पास वो एक्शन वो काम होता है जो हमने ऑलरेडी किया होता, अगर 1 मिनट पहले भी किया होता, if you work before 1 minute and it is done, so it is simple past. For example, I worked, you worked, we worked, they worked, whatever, it is all simple past tense. So how we use simple past tense? Simple, we have 6 kinds of uses in the simple past. Like number first, with time expression and without time expression. With time expression we show the time, like for example, Ali called last week, Ali called last week, last day, last night, whatever. And without time expression there is no time. So I cooked dinner. No one, I don't know when I cooked dinner, but I just cooked dinner. And the recent past and distant past. Recent past like a short time ago, and distant past is a long time ago. For example, we went to park yesterday, we went to park yesterday. And distant past is like she lived in London a long time ago. And the last one is one action and many action. Like one action, for example, she talked to her manager, she talked to her manager, she talked to her friends. And many action is that they visited, they invited their friends to order pizza and watch movie and TV and mobile, whatever they watch. So we, this is the usages of simple past. We have 2 kinds of verb which we use at the past. The one is regular and the second one is irregular. The regular verb is not change and the past, just we add ed. Regular verb is not change and the past, just we add ed. For example, work, worked, clean, cleaned, watch, watched. It is not change. And the irregular verb we can change in the past. Like for example, go, went, see, saw, and buy, bought, so on. So we have 3 kinds of structure at the simple past. The one is positive, negative, and interrogative. Like what, how we use this structure in a right way at the simple past. So I gave you example. At the positive we can say that I saw a movie. And the negative, I didn't see a movie. Why I use see? See is the past form of a verb, but if we look at, I use did. So did is a second form of do. So once you used second form, so we cannot use again second form at the sentence. And the how we use at the question. So the question we use did at the past, like did I see a movie, did I see a movie. So past continuous tense. So when we are talking about the past tense, so we have 2 basic tense. The first one is past simple past and the second one is past continuous tense. So let's learn what's difference between in these 2 tenses, simple past and past continuous tense. So simple past we use, for example, I work, and past continuous we use I was working. Like from now, simple past tense we use from now, which something happened in the specific time, which something done in the past. For example, there is a period of time like for I was working, I was working. For example, I use in the simple past, so that I work at 9 a.m. I finished my work at 5 p.m. and there is 8 p.m. from now, which you done before the space before the present time. It is simple past. Like I work, I done my work at 5 p.m. And the past continuous, we use the continuing during period with something continued during period. For example, I was working, he was working, she was working, and it was working. And there is, you can see a small difference. Were, you were working. When we are talking about two and more than two people, so we use were. Like for example, you were working, we were working, and they were working. Well, let's learn when we use past continuous tense. Number first one, we use for continuing during the period. For example, Sarah was studying all the day. So where is period of time? All the day. And past continuous tense was studying. Sarah was studying all the day. And continue during moment, like at 11 p.m. I was sleeping. For example, if anybody call you and at 11 a.m. and you say, oh, I'm sorry, at 11 p.m. I was sleeping. And continuing when interrupted, like they were having a dinner when arrived. They were having a dinner when we arrived. There is very interesting sentence there. So there is two past tenses. The number first, we were having. You are having a dinner. It's past continuous tense, and there is another one, simple past. When they were having a dinner when we arrived. And the fourth one is planet action. For example, I was planning to call Ahmad but I didn't have time. There is also two past tenses. The one is past continuous and didn't also be used at the simple past. I was planning to call Ahmad but I didn't have time. And the last one we use for a polite request. Like for example, I was wondering if you could help me. For example, we can say that, can you help me, could you help me. So it's a very impressive and very polite request that you tell somebody, I was wondering if you could help me. Let's look at when we use past continuous tense. We use three sentences like positive, negative, and question. Question mean interrogative sentence. So at the positive sentence, simple, we use subject plus was and verb and plus verb plus ing. When we are talking about the continued action, so we add ing with the first form of verb. Like at the positive sentence, you look at here, like I was working, he was working, she was working, and it was working. And there's also well is well simple that you are working, we were working, and they were working. It's all positive. And at the negative sentence, it's simple, we use not after the helping verb. We use not at the negative sentence, like I was not working, she was not working, and we were not working, and they were not working. It's simple. But when we make a sentence for a question, and like we ask by someone, like at the question, like we use helping verb at the first of the sentence, like was I working, was he working, was she working, and were we working, were you working, and were they working. I mean, we also use for a wh question, like when were they working, when was they working, and how long was they working, and how long were they working. Let's practice what you learned on this lesson. There is, I wrote a sentence that there is, like this is the present continuous tense. So how we can what at the past continuous tense. So there is, I am learning. How we use at the past continuous tense, say I was learning, I was learning. And the second one is we are waiting. So how we use at the past continuous tense, we were waiting. we were waiting. And the third one is he is singing. If we convert past continuous tense, present continuous tense with the past continuous tense, so we use was. So he was singing. There is another three sentence. It is correct sentence because we use past continuous tense in this sentence, like Hamid was teaching, but it's a positive sentence. If we convert it the negative sentence, so how we use it? So we use Hamid was not. Hamid Hamid was not teaching. And Ali was winning. If we convert positive sentence at the negative, so we use not. So Ali was not winning. Ali was not winning, and we were driving. So we use negative. We were not driving. And look at the last two sentence. Number 7 is Kamran was going to the class. So when we it's a answer. Kamran was going to the class. How we can say at the question, where was Kamran going? Where was Kamran going? But never miss this question mark at the question. If you miss the question mark at the question, so your question will be not complete. This eighth one is she was doing her homework. And question is what was she doing? So it's all about past continuous. Simple future. What is simple future? Simple future we use that something happen after now, after 5 minutes now, after 50 years now, whatever, but what something happen after now, then we use simple future tense. How we use simple future, since we have three kinds of structure, that the one is going to, the second one is present continuous tense, and the last one is will. So how we use this three structure in a right way? So the first of all, I'm going to talk about the going to. So when we are 100% sure, like I do the work tomorrow, like when we are 100% sure, when we complete, when we already plan, so then we use going to. Like for example, I am going to go Islamabad. When we are 100% sure, so we use going to. And when we are 75% sure, so we use present continuous tense. For example, I am going to home tomorrow. I am going to home tomorrow. So when we are 75% sure, so we use present continuous tense. And when we are not sure for tomorrow work, so and plan unplanned, which is not planned already, so then we use will. Simple future will. For example, I will go to home tomorrow. I will go to Islamabad. I will do study tomorrow. I will do work, whatever. Then we use simple future. So when we use simple future, so I wrote some sentences that the first one we use in a formal situation. For example, the ceremony will begin at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., whatever. And the second one is planned, which something that you already plan, like you call to the doctor and the doctor will give you the answer that the doctor will see you at 3 a.m., 3 p.m., whatever. And the third one is business. For example, ABC company will open a new factory. So will is simple future. Will open a new company and new factory. And the fourth one is formal. When we use in a formal situation, for example, I will call you later. And when something is not planned, so we can also use simple future. For example, hi, I will give you a ride to the subway. I will give you a ride to the subway. And the last one is promising. When you promise with someone that I will return your book tomorrow. What's the structure of simple future? Subject plus will, shall, and verb. So we have three uses of simple future. The first one is positive, negative, and interrogative. Interrogative means question sentence. So how we make a sentence at a positive? So for we use that I will work, we will work, they will work, she will work, it will work, and like that. And with the negative sentence, there is no a big difference. There is a small difference that just we use not at the negative sentence. Like I will not work, they will not work, she will not work. And the last one is interrogative mean question sentence. When we make a question, so we use will and before the subject. We use will before the subject. For example, will I work, will they work, will she work, will we work. But I'm gonna tell you a big difference with will and shall. There is not any big difference, but a small difference. Will and shall. When we use shall and when we use will, so shall we use with two subject, I and we. I didn't write, so I and we use shall, like shall I dance, shall I begin, and shall we dance, shall we begin, shall I bring, shall we bring. So when this will and we use shall with this two subject, with these two subjects, and others we use will. Okay, alright, let's practice. What did you learn from this lesson? So I make a sentence, and then the first one I make as three sentences are the positive. So let's begin. I dish give you the recipe. So what will be the answer? Right. Correct. I will give you the recipe. And the second one is don't worry, you dash pass the exam. So what will be the answer? Don't worry, you will. Right. You will. You will pass the exam. And the third one is the bank dash closed on Sunday. For the bank will the bank will close at 5 p.m. on Sunday, on Saturday, what when the day the bank is off.
No spelling.
And the second one is negative. How we make a negative sentence in a simple future. So for example, the store dash delivery on Sunday. Deliver on Sunday, so the store, the negative sentence, the store will not. We use not at the negative sentence. The store will not deliver on Sunday. The fifth one is he dash be home until 11. So she will not. She will not be home until 11 p.m. 11 a.m. And the sixth one is I dash have time tomorrow. So I will not have time. I will not have time tomorrow. And the last one is interrogative, mean question sentence. When you ask somebody, for example, will they make dash they dash make an announcement. So what will be the answer is, and the questions we put will shall before the subject. So they is what? They is subject. So when we make a question sentence, so we use will before the subject. For example, I will they make an announcement. And the last one is dash she dash get the job. So what will be the answer? I told you that we use will before the subject. So will she get the job? And talk about future continuous tense. We have two tenses, you all know that. One is simple future and the one is future continuous. So how we can use simple future and how we can use future continuous tense? If we look at the example that here, like I will start work at 9 a.m. and I will finish work at 5 p.m. So the will is simple future. So but when it's come in the future continuous tense, so how we can use it? We can use it, I will be working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. I will be is future continuous tense. For example, I will start work at 9 a.m. and I will finish work at 5 p.m. So when it's come in the future continuous tense, so we can say that I will start working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's move on. When we can use future continuous tense. So I made some example that we use for a continue for a period of time. For example, our team will be attending a conference from March 5 to 8 p.m. Will be attending. It is future continuous tense. And the second one is continue during movement, like at 2:30 I will be taking English exam. I will be taking. It is continuous tense and during movement is at 2:30. And the third one is continuing together, like for example, on Monday Ahmed will be giving a presentation and Sarah will be meeting a client. Will be giving. It is future continuous. And the fourth one is for polite request. When you ask somebody for a very good and very right way, so we use polite question that will you be checking in early? But when you ask a question by someone, so never miss the question mark. If you miss the question mark, so your question will not be complete. And the last one is time marker. When we use future continuous tense, so we have to put the time mark and we have to mention the time, which time we use this, like tomorrow, next week, it's 9 o'clock, on Sunday, and in summer. So what's the structure of future continuous tense? You all know that we have three kinds of structure. The first one, positive, negative, and interrogative. So the first one is positive, how we can use future continuous tense in the positive sentence. So look at the example. I will be working. I will be working. You will be working. They will be working. She will be working. But when it's come into the negative, so we just add, there is not any difference. There's a small difference. We use not after the will, like I will not be working, she will not be working. But when we use a will not with a short form, so we can say that I won't be working. Say after me, I won't be working. I wrote it that. And the last one is question sentence, how we can make a question sentence at the future continuous tense. For example, will I be working, will you be working, will they be working, will she be working. And when you want to add the question words, that when, where, what, how long, so how we can use that, we just put the question words before the will, like when will I working, when will I working, and where will I be working, where will she be working, and how long will she be working. So it's all about future continuous.